Hi, I'm Krista Redpath, and you are listening to Around the Big Sky in Women's Hoops, a weekly podcast brought to you by Krista Redpath Media, where we break down the game, elevate the story, and champion the female voice.
Krista Redpath joining me courtside for a special Around the Big Sky in Women's Hoops. How you doing?
I'm just still kind of reeling from this.
Funny.
It's a lot to rattle me.
No doubt. I mean, this was a very intense game and a very unlikely result. The fact that Montana was able to rally from down 15 points and to absolutely dominate, honestly, the last quarter of this game and to win over the second seed in Northern Arizona, 71-67. What did you see? How did you think the Lady Grizz were able to do it? How were they able to rally back and secure such a huge victory?
Well, I really think that there were a couple key moments in the game. Dani Barch's defense, to me, that charge she had, and then Matt Koenig came down and hit back-to-back threes. And right there, you could just feel the momentum shift. And I said this on the air today during the call. Montana is a team. They're a momentum team.
Absolutely.
And they have been all year. And they've relied on that momentum. At times it's been inconsistent,
no doubt,
but does it really matter, Coulter, when you put it all together in March right here?
And here's what's been so fun to watch about this Montana team is you and I have had the exact same criticism of them, and it's that their momentum only builds when they make shots offensively, and then they don't seem to be able to build any momentum when they don't. Well, they did not shoot the ball well yesterday against Idaho, and they won because they played great defense and they rebounded. They didn't shoot the ball well today either. I mean, they only shot 41%. They only hit 6 threes, which is about half of the magic number usually for the Lady Grizz. But guess what? They crashed on the glass, but more than anything, though, they just showed grit and toughness and determination and a lot of things that have eluded this team. And you're right. If you're going to put it together, why not put it together right now?
It was a weird game for NAU. They came in, obviously, right behind Montana State. And it's like I look at their season, and they just did not play well here.
Right.
I mean, they looked out of sorts.
They looked terrible.
And no composure offensively. They ended up with 56 points from just Nia Moran and Sophie Glancy today. I mean, 56 of their 67 came from two people.
Totally.
Taylor Feldman is held to 1 point. Leah Beatty has 5. Nobody else scores. It's uncharacteristic. You have to credit the Lady Grizz defense.
You absolutely do.
For taking them out of any type of rhythm. And I really didn't think I would be sitting here today talking to you saying this Lady Grizz team not only found the offense, but also just came out of nowhere with this defense. And really impressive. And you got to give credit where credit's due.
It was completely an unpredictable result to look at this box score and to see the specific point guard matchup with Taylor Feldman, who's a unanimous first-team All-League player, who's one of the great players in the conference, one of my favorite players to watch. She's unbelievable. She's the engine for NAU's fast break offense, all that sort of stuff. 1 point, 0 of 8 shooting. And then you look on the other side, Matt Koenig, who has been completely mercurial this year. I mean, she's been up and down. She had a terrible drought shooting the basketball and really looked like she had hit a big slump as a player. Well, how about her? The way she's turned the corner these last 2 weeks. She was the Big Sky Player of the Week last week, and then right now, if the tournament ended today, she's the MVP of this tournament. She's played great the last 2 days.
Well, and she's had 4 straight games with 16 points or more. So it's all been right now.
The hand is better. You can tell the hand is better.
The hand is better. She still, has some moments where she didn't finish around the rim, but it didn't affect her because she came back from that. And so it's impressive. I mean, 4 of Montana's 5 starters played more than 30 minutes back-to-back. So Nate did not go deep on the bench. Isabel Zingaro didn't play. He went with more of his quicker lineup, just went 7 deep. It's just impressive.
Super impressive. Matt Koenig's final stat line, 29 points, 5 assists, 3 rebounds, 9 of 15 from the floor, 9 of 10 from the free throw line. It was her bucket in the lane after the Glancy missed free throw that I thought really gave the Lady Grizz the separation that they needed. NAU could have gone up by a point if Glancy makes both free throws. Instead, she doesn't, and then Koenig hits a jumper to put them up by 2 points, and then they had the separation they needed. They got one more stop, and they pushed it to 4, and they were able to then salt away the last 2 minutes of the game, and that was all Koenig.
Colter, I'm so glad you could repeat that back to me, because literally I am in a little bit of a fog, and like I said, it doesn't take, it takes a lot to fluster me. I'm going to have to go back and relive this tonight, but just crazy that they were able to do this, and it just shows that, all of this trials and tribulations and all the things that teams go through, you put together a couple of good games when it counts, and the Lady Grizz are competing to go to the NCAA tournament.
The craziest part about this, Around the Big Sky Women's Hoops, Krista Redpath, joining me, Colter Nuanez, is you're right. Like, Montana was not supposed to beat Idaho. They were not supposed to
They're
even beat.
They're a 6 seed.
I mean, they lost. Their average margin of defeat to NAU this year was 23 points.
Yes.
They got beat by 25 and 20. It was non-competitive. And so I know a lot of people are probably thinking, okay, Lady Grizz are going to play Montana State. Montana State just absolutely rolled Idaho State in the other semifinal today. And you're thinking, okay, Lady Grizz just have no shot in this. But, like, why not? They already.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
They already
beat. Why not?
They already beat the 2 and the 3 seed. So, if you can just keep it going. And I wonder about that, too. I wonder about the minutes. Nate Harris has basically played his starting lineup, and that's it.
Yeah,
Start to finish. But, again, what do you got to save up for? Like, all you got to do is just be ready to roll tomorrow for an hour and a half.
You didn't even see their legs were affected by it.
No, exactly.
I wondered if, they were going to get tired, and they just kept their focus. They looked like a really focused team, and, just impressive all the way around.
Super impressive. Let's talk about it's funny because this Lady Grizz upset, I mean, it set this arena on fire. There was a huge contingent of fans for this game, both Lady Grizz and Northern Arizona. It was a great atmosphere, super fun to be in the arena. But then everybody was kind of stunned, like looking at everybody down along.
I think the Lady Grizz fans were stunned too.
No doubt. I mean, everybody from the administrators to the broadcasters to the people that work for the Big Sky, everybody was kind of like, did that just happen? What just happened? This is crazy. I think we all thought it was going to be NAU versus Montana State for the championship. And this Lady Grizz thing has just sort of taken over the narrative of this tournament.
Well, it's so crazy because to think that we could have an all Montana final.
Yes.
For both.
No doubt.
The men and the women. And just to think about how many fans could end up in Boise right now over this. I mean, we know that the 2 most popular teams in the league that are followed the most are Montana and Montana State.
No doubt.
And so to know that we have a women's final that's a Bobcat Grizz, I mean, I never would have thought in a million years I'd be calling my 3rd Bobcat Grizz game.
Right.
For ESPN this year. And so the story narratives that are going through my head as I'm going to meet with producers tonight, it's just going to be really fun.
Well, because this Lady Grizz game has sort of captivated this entire audience of people that are here, it sort of overshadowed what went down in the first semifinals. So let's talk about that.
Yeah, well, that was dominance.
I mean, that was going to be, when I was planning the show out at 2:30 when the Lady Grizz game was coming, I thought we were going to spend most of the time talking about Montana State. Instead, we're talking about Montana, and great job by the Lady Grizz to sort of steal the narrative away. But MSU, as I was texting Brooks, my brother, during the first quarter of that game, second game in a row where it's like a first-round knockout. It's like an old-school Mike Tyson fight. Like, they're up 10-0, then they're up 24-8. Like, it's just so impressive the way they start and then the way they put the pedal to the metal and just keep it down for the duration of the game.
Well, it's crazy because Izzy Bunyan was our player of the game with 15 points. Now, she comes in averaging 2. 11 players for Montana State scored. So, again, very spread. You obviously have Esme Morales with 14 points. Mara Dykstra had 10. She only played 15 minutes.
Yeah.
But, I mean, just completely spread, in control from start to finish. Montana State is clearly on a mission, and they have shown since they've got here that it's been a complete reset. And I do think that Sac State loss might have been the best thing that happened to them up in Bozeman when I look at how focused they look. And just... they're so tough on defense, Colter. I mean, they don't give you an inch.
They don't give you anything. It's amazing. It's actually sort of sad to watch the other team, whether it was Northern Colorado or Idaho State. I mean, the looks on their poor young ladies' faces, you're just like, these girls have no answers. They are so demoralized by how much pressure Montana State puts on you, and they just melt. They can't do anything against this Bobcat defense, and it doesn't really matter who they played. It's been like that all year long.
And I felt like Idaho State, I mean, they had 23 turnovers, but I actually felt like they were handling it okay.
See,
it didn't seem like that much.
This is the craziest thing, is that Idaho State, I thought, played really well in this game. I thought they played really well defensively. I thought they kept Montana State in check relatively. They turned the ball over 23 times, which is below the single-game average of Montana State, and yet they still lost 75-42. Like, that's how good this Montana State team is.
I know, and I ran into Dora Golish, who is a former great, one of the best to wear the ISU orange, and she just said, "Hey, it's a beatdown." I mean,
is she coaching?
She is. She's on staff.
Yeah,
she's
okay.
an assistant.
I thought
I mean, she's so proud of her kids, but she's like, "Hey, you know, we got beat. I mean, we literally got beat today.
Totally.
And there was no question from start to finish. You know, but I want to give a couple of kids a shout out. You know, Piper Carlson, to me, is the most improved player in the league.
Yeah,
she's
a
little undersized at 6'1" for post presence, but I'm telling you, she is quick, Coulter, to the basket. She finished only with 9, but 10 rebounds. Casey Spank, to me, just shows her athleticism, and she had moments where she scored the basketball better than I've seen her score. And Taysha Jordan, unbelievable.
She's a great player. I love her pull-up jump shot and transition.
Well, she can dunk.
She
can dunk a regulation basketball.
She's a really, really good athlete. That's the thing about Idaho State is future's bright, right? I mean, they only have one senior on the roster.
Right.
Spink, Jordan, Carlson, they're all going to be back next year.
Cavello will be back.
Yeah, I mean, so that's a good place to start if you're seeing Sobolewski, because they definitely got better as the year went along.
Oh, they did. They won 5 of their last 7 going into the second half of conference play. I mean, they were arguably one of the hottest teams coming into the tournament.
No doubt. No doubt. Definitely a very impressive showing for Seton Sobolewski's crew. We heard from Coach Sobolewski earlier today. Krista Redpath joined me. Coulter Nuada is here courtside at Idaho Central Arena. I know you have some of your fine sponsors that you'd like to give some love to, because we've been doing this all winter long, and it's always one of our favorite segments.
This is it. This is our last show.
Here we are.
I feel like we're still going to see each other.
I think I'm going to get a few thoughts from you after the championship game tomorrow, if you have any brain space left.
Yes, I do. I will, for you, for sure. So I just want to give a shout out to Vertical Rays, Advanced Imaging, Laird and Cowley, England Vokers, Don Maddox, and Giddy Up Go Creative Studio, who, you know, handled all my ads this year and just did a great job of putting together all of my ads for all my sponsors. But these businesses really got behind this show around the Big Sky and women's hoops and supported. We led with the women, and we really loved it, Coulter.
No doubt.
We loved covering the women.
No doubt.
And women's basketball in the Big Sky is high level, and we just had a great run. So we're not done, but it's going to be a fun Bobcat Grizz for all of our fans of the show.
All right, so you got to give us some thoughts on this game then, because, again, you know, you think if you're breaking this thing down on paper, you're thinking that Montana State is a heavy favorite, but Montana was a heavy underdog multiple games in this tournament already, and they won both of them.
But look at, I know that there was a different game in Bozeman down in the Brick.
Yeah.
But look at the first time these two played. Montana played them to 1.
Right.
Okay? 1 point. I mean, they came as close to anyone in the league other than Sac State to upsetting this Bobcat team. When I look at these two teams, I think about the environments and the fan base. Over 4,100 fans in the Brick for the second Bobcat Grizz. Just about the same at Dahlberg Arena, maybe a little bit less. But if there's a team that has come close to them, it's been the Lady Grizz. Now, this was back in January, so it was a while ago, and we've seen dominance by the Cats. But to your point, why not? I mean, they've already come this far. I think that you won't see... you could see, I don't know, you could see a Montana State team come out and really beat down a worn-down Lady Grizz team, but something tells me that there's just a little bit left in them to at least go out and give the Bobcats a good game.
What do you think will be the key factors on either side of this?
Well, I always think, you know, Montana State comes out of the gate. They like to dictate pace. They like to be fast. They want to, you know, obviously create turnovers. They're first in the nation right now for the amount of steals.
It's crazy.
And so, what is it, like 14 a game? Or something?
It's 15 a game now 15? After these last.
Oh my gosh, that's
I mean, how
crazy.
about Taylor Jerk? She set a Big Sky Conference tournament record with 8 steals today. She has 15 steals in this tournament in just 2 games already now.
Yeah, and so that's it right there.
Yes.
So Montana State with their tough defense, they're so deep, and she hasn't had to really play a lot of players a lot of minutes. And so, I mean, she's kept Mara out. Mara still gives you, what, 10 points in 15 minutes. So they're fresh, and they're just going to keep at you. And so they want to dictate that pace. They want to really disrupt on the defensive end. They don't want to let Montana get any type of uncontested looks, which shockingly they got against NAU. And so I think there's going to be some adjustments made, and Coach Binford's going to say, hey, we are playing lockdown defense. We're not going to allow them to attack the rim and kick. We're just going to keep them out of any type of comfort, because that's where she really shines. So I think defensively you're going to see a very tough, resilient Montana State team. And boy, I wonder if there's just a little bit more magic left in this Lady Grizz. I don't even know where to start with them for what they should do. They should just keep continuing the course. If they could play right now, it'd be better for them.
Totally. Just don't even go.
Don't even do anything.
Don't get off your feet. Don't even take a shower. Just go play right now. I heard
Coach Harris saying, everyone get off their feet. And I'm thinking, no, keep on your feet. Do whatever you're doing. Keep it the same.
Do whatever you're doing, for sure. The point guard matchup will play huge in this championship game tomorrow. Montana State has this awesome two-headed monster, basically, with Esmeralda Morales as the league MVP. But, I mean, what a great backup point guard option it is to have Natalie Pickenham. She's one of the most high-pace, up-and-down type of players in the conference. And for Montana, it's just going to be one point guard, and that's Matt Koning. But right now, Matt Koning is averaging 25 points per game in this tournament. She's averaging 5.5 assists per game. If the tournament ended right now, Matt Koning would be my vote for Big Sky Conference Tournament MVP. And what a huge turnaround it's been for her after being in sort of a mid-season slump earlier this year. So what do we think about just the way the point guard matchup will influence this contest tomorrow?
Well, I think she's one of the up-and-coming players that really didn't let the first half of conference really affect her. She broke her hand. Obviously, there's a lot of coaching issues with the resignation of Coach Holsinger and the emotions behind that, and then having Coach Harris come in. I mean, there were some bumps, and especially for her.
Right.
And the way she has responded and been able to come out and lead her team. I mean, the Lumberjacks have sent the Lady Grizz home from Boise 3 of the last 5 years.
Right.
So, and it's just insane to me that this will be the first championship they're back in since 2015. My very first call 11 years ago for a tournament. And it's like these Lady Grizz, I just really looked at this roster, and I knew, and Culture, we talked about this, they had and they have good players individually. We just didn't know how collectively or when they could put it together.
Right.
I think Matt Koning's driving a really good ship. I think Danny Barsh has played just exceptionally well.
That's the last factor I think you need to point out about the Lady Grizz is that Matt Koning has been tremendous, and the way she's turned a corner is huge. But right now you're getting the best basketball that you've gotten in their careers, honestly, out of some seniors. Danny Barch, today she only had 9 points. She struggled to shoot the ball a little bit, but she's playing unbelievable defense. I thought her defense in the third quarter yesterday against Idaho, and then the fourth quarter today against NAU really helped Montana turn a corner. And then you got Tyler McCall, who's been outstanding. She had 18 rebounds yesterday, 16 points today. So she's playing some of her best ball as well. And that's what this time of year is all about, is having the best, the most veteran players try to go out on top.
And then you have Avery Waddington, just our freshman sensation that, to me, gave 12 points today, but has provided that extra spark. She has height. She's long. She's lean. She's that other missing piece that the Lady Grizz are going to want to build around for the future.
Yeah, fun for her too, because I know she's had some family here. She's from Coeur d'Alene.
Yeah.
A lot of local flavor. There's some guys from the Coeur d'Alene newspaper that are here just to cover her, just to write a story about her, and that's just cool. It's cool to see the local flavor that she gets to be celebrated in and to perform so well in her first Big Sky tournament in Boise. Krista Redpath joining me, Colter Nuanez, around the Big Sky in women's hoops. Tomorrow, the championship game, a rivalry edition, Montana versus Montana State, with a spot in the NCAA tournament on the line. I want to ask you so bad about what this whole run means for the future of the Lady Grizz, but that seems like a future segment for us, because I think we could go on and on and on.
We could go down a rabbit hole there.
Yes, we could, and I also think that there's a lot to be determined too, right? Because if the Lady Grizz go to the NCAA tournament, holy cow! That's going to have a huge impact on the future of the program. But also this run in general, it definitely will have a big impact as well. I guess we'll get you out of here on this then. What do you think will be the keys in this game for either side to come out on top?
Well, I think for the Lady Grizz is going to be, transition defense. The Montana State's gonna get up and go. They just really have one pace, and they've been phenomenal in the first quarter of both of their tournament games. And so you got to get back and build. You got to make shots. I mean, that's really what it's going to come down to too, is defense, but also making shots. And this has been a momentum team that kind of finds that momentum from making shots, and that helps on the defensive end. You got to come out and not dig yourself into a hole with this Bobcat team. And I don't really want to have you change much from what you're doing. And either way, at this point, I think you just want to play your game. And if you're Montana State, you want to continue to do what has gotten you as far as you have, which is lockdown defense. And offensively, for this Bobcat team, they have moments where they don't take the best shots. And they've been able to weather that. But real strong offense behind Esmeralda Morales, Mara Dykstra. We could go down the list. But I think for them, they stay the course as well.
The Big Sky Tournament Championship game between Montana and Montana State women will be tomorrow, and Crystal Redpath will be on the call, 3 p.m. tip. So you'll be hearing plenty from her, and we'll round her up afterwards as well for championship impressions. Anything else before I get you out of here?
No, this is just really, it's been a great environment here. It's been fun
awesome.
in Boise.
Yep.
And, Idaho Central Arena is great in that it's like a hockey arena. So it reminds me of a little bit of Dahlberg, where the fans are right on top of the floor. And so, yeah, it's got a good feel, and I think we're going to probably see more fans. So if you're in Missoula or Bozeman, you need to get down here.
Yeah, start driving. Let's go. Crystal Redpath, our Big Sky Conference women's basketball expert, joining me now courtside. First of all, thanks for making time. I know this is a intense day for you, but fun one for sure.
It was so fun, but I love coming on with you, Coulter, because you're my favorite person to talk hoops with. So, yeah, I mean, the whole ESPN experience, just to put these deserving athletes on the main stage, to me, like, I had a moment before I started to call the game, and you just look at both of these teams. It's like, how could you not be more happy for the state of Montana?
Totally.
To have both the teams playing, and a little bit of a Cinderella story, right?
No
Lady
doubt.
Grizz magic on one side, and then a Bobcat team that started out pretty rigid and looked like that nervous number one seed that needed to find their bearings. They struggled in the first quarter.
They did. No doubt.
And then they, came down, played lockdown defense in the second quarter, took Montana State, or took the Lady Grizz kind of out of it. And then it was just back and forth in that second half.
So we'll start with the ending. For
let's start with the ending.
Those that missed it, Danny Barch hits a three-pointer with 7.9 seconds to go. She puts the Lady Grizz up one. You're thinking, oh, my gosh, the former Gatorade Player of the Year. She has her hero moment. Holy
biggest
cow.
Shot of her life is what I said on the
Biggest shot of her life. I mean, the Lady Grizz, they're going to do this. They're going to win. And then Montana State calls a timeout. They get an ISO. Myra Dykstra misses the first one, but she gets the rebound. She kisses it off the glass. What was your perspective on the game winner?
Well, it was interesting because I thought the ball would stay in Esmeralda Morales' hands, and I got the post-game interview with Esmeralda Morales down right on courtside after, and she looked at me and said, everyone thought that was what was going to happen. The ball was going to stay in my hands, but I was more of a decoy, and it was going to Mara Dykstra, and she's been one of our go-tos all year. She's got that real length and her ability to extend to the basket, and so you just you want to have one of those players that could really pick up a couple seconds and be able to get a shot off, and she just stuck with it, and kudos to her because it was a great play.
A great play. Also, you got to give so much credit to Mara Dykstra for being the warrior that she is. You could tell that her ankle was still bugging her.
Oh, yes.
You could tell her during warm-ups it was bugging her. And Montana State was fortunate enough to win their first two games so handily that they kept her minutes down.
10 and 15.
Yeah, I mean, she only played 25 minutes, but then she played 30 minutes in this game. So certainly a warrior for her. Then on the Lady, I mean, this is the agony and ecstasy of sports, right? The Lady Grizz side, I mean, the celebration was crazy because they didn't know if it was approved or not. They didn't know if, the basket was good or not. Lady Grizz are holding on for the last moment to maybe say that, it was after the buzzer. And then when they ruled that the basket is good, just the elation on the Montana State side and the deflation on the Lady Grizz side. I mean, that's what makes sports so great. And you're on the same side of this as me. we cover both these teams in the state of Montana. We cover everybody in this conference. You're so happy for everybody that wins, and you feel so sad for everybody that loses. But particularly in this, with a rivalry game like this game was, to come down like that, you can't be more happy for Montana State to punch their ticket, and you can't feel more bad for the Lady Grizz. It's heartsick for them.
It's just the opposite of emotions, because you're absolutely right, Coulter. We're connected to both of them, and we're statewide, and obviously I'm a former Lady Grizz, and I felt a little bit of pull in that situation, but gosh, you got to hand it to this Lady Grizz. I mean, they blew everyone away.
They blew everybody away.
The resolve and the continued fight. Matt Coney, who to me, I think, the first half of season we were doing the first half of our Around the Big Sky Women's Hoops, and we really were hard on her.
Yes, totally.
We were really impressed with her leadership and where they were going. And then as Coach Harris kind of eliminated people from the roster and started really honing in on a key 7, she really found her comfort zone in this tournament. And she was player of the week the last week of conference play. But her play in this tournament.
If Lady Grizz win this game, she's the MVP of this tournament.
Absolutely.
And I guarantee she got the second most votes behind Esmeralda Morales, who was the tournament MVP for Montana State. Montana State, a 58-57 win over Lady Grizz. Bobcats are going dancing. We've talked about their postseason prospects all season long. Well, they're 30-3 now. You just got to watch them live 3 times in 4 days. What seed do you think this Bobcat team deserves?
Well, they moved up in the ranking. They're number 52 for net rankings right now. So that's really interesting. Gosh, I hope they're not a 16 or a 15.
No, I think that there's no question they're going to get. I think the bare minimum they get is a 14, but I think that would be disrespectful for Montana State. I think that they absolutely deserve a 12. I don't know if they'll get a 12. I think they'll probably get a 13. And if they get a 13, though, that's a huge difference. 13 to 14 is massive because you don't have to go to somebody else's home court. You get to play a 4-13 game on a neutral site. If you get the 14, you got to go to the 3. You're going to be going to Notre Dame or Tennessee or whoever else is going to get a 3 seed.
I had to go to Florida, Alabama, and Georgia for 3 of my 4. Are you kidding me?
Totally. I mean, it's just
throw us to the wolves.
It's just such uphill sledding, right? So I was thinking about that the whole time when the Lady Grizz, they shot out to a 15-3 lead, and you're sitting there thinking, wow, maybe they're going to pull this upset. Then I was thinking, okay, if they get into the tournament with a 13-17 record, it would have been a bad draw, but it also would have been kind of cool for the Big Sky because they probably would have played like South Carolina or UConn, like they put up, or maybe USC. You would have got to play against one of the best players in the world.
This is where I might frustrate a lot of listeners in Missoula. And I don't want to do that because I am a Lady Grizz, true and true, but you want to send your best team.
No, that's right.
The best team was Montana State.
That's right.
And we are a one-bid league. That's right. And there's no other way to look at it.
Totally.
Actually, the only other time we had an at-large, I was doing all this crazy research, was Tricia Bader-Binford got an at-large. Boise State did the year that they lost to Montana.
Right.
Now, we haven't had an at-large since
that was, 97? Mid-90s.
I should know that.
Yeah, no, Trish played mid-90s at Boise State. I believe it was 1997 because Lady Grizz were also very good that year.
Might have been 1996. I played with her. I played against her for 1 year. I was a freshman when she was a senior.
Got it.
Anyway, it's been a long time.
Totally.
So I think the way this tournament is set up, we have sensational basketball. We had the Lady Grizz, a number 6 seed, and the fans. I mean, Idaho Central Arena was just packed, obviously, with having the Montana men in the championship tonight. There were a lot of fans, good environment. Which is what you want for a conference tournament, but in the scheme of trying to elevate the Big Sky and put this conference on the map, we need to send our best team.
No, that's right, and especially when that best team is a historically great team. And this is one of the best teams the league has ever seen. It would have been very, very disappointing for them if they go 29-4 and they're playing in the WNIT and not the NCAA tournament, right?
30 wins now.
So 30-3. And now that the success continues, so I hope Montana State gets a good draw. I think 13 seed just puts them in the mix. If they get a 12, look out. Now whoever the 5 is going to be up against it. Certainly against this Bobcat team. The length and the intensity they play with and the depth, I think, are the things that set them apart in terms of being able to compete at the NCAA tournament. So often we see the Big Sky champ go and play these Power Fives, and the size just overwhelms them. This Cat team has so much length that I do think they'll be able to hang if they get a good draw in that first round.
Well, and I had a chance to visit with Dan Hughes before the game, who was here. He was Tricia Binford's WNBA coach for the Cleveland Rockers. And he just said, what she does on the defensive end is a work of art, really.
Yes.
I mean, and if the WNBA played with that type of intensity, with all the athletes they have, it would be completely different. But he just said, I mean, she just is relentless, never takes a possession off, and has her kids competing. And I think this was a test for them, though, and probably another good one, just like the Sac State test. And so, again, yeah, you're right, added length, and they've got, that backcourt, when she puts that trap on and has Taylor Cherrick and Izzy Bunyan, Caitlin Martin, and this is the last one I'm missing here. Ella Johnson. Ella Johnson. Got my roster. I mean, I should have this. But when they are putting on that trap in the backcourt, it is really tough. I mean, you saw the turnovers by the Lady Grizz. And, just a really difficult defensive presence.
19 turnovers for the Lady Grizz. I said on Big Sky courtside, I thought the magic number was 18. I thought if Lady Grizz were under 18, they would have a chance. And sure enough, they're 19 and they lose by 1. But it's still a great effort for Montana in this championship game. Krista Redpath joining me, Colter Nuanez. Any other things about this game before? I want to ask you just briefly what you think of the men's tournament with the Grizz. I mean, 1 versus 2. So, I mean, what do you think of just the opportunity that Travis DeCuire and the men have tonight?
Oh, it's such a great opportunity for Travis. And just so proud of him and what he's built here at Montana. And, they've had just a storied season, and it's been dominating at times, and it's just like it just comes down to, I mean, Northern Colorado's a good team.
They're great.
And so it's just probably going to be a tough one.
Totally. We've seen this tournament where the bracket gets busted on one side, and the team that's supposed to be in the final gets there, and then they play a team that's totally overmatched.
Yes.
And then it's just a complete whipping. I'm so glad that didn't play out today. Like, when I was watching warm-ups, I was like, man, the Lady Grizz haven't subbed at all this whole tournament. Will they have any gas in the tank? And then I'm thinking in my head, I was like, this could get ugly. Lady Grizz could beat them by 30. No, that was not the case. And I love that. And I think I think it's an almost guarantee we're going to see a great basketball game. I think both these teams are going to be ready to go.
I do, too. I have to talk about Coach Harris last night. I was visiting with him, and he talked about that. I said, you're playing your starters 30 minutes. Now, this will be the 3rd day in a row.
Totally. And
he said, Kristen, my answer back to them is, why not? Like, you're not hurt. You're not sick. I don't want to hear it. Like, you're out here.
You're 20 years old.
Yeah, like, life is good for all of you.
Good. Totally.
And so there is no, my ankle's hurting today, or, I don't feel very good. And so he said, it's just, we're the why not team.
Well, especially the seniors. Like, if you're Danny Barcher, Tyler McClimate Call, or MJ Bruno, you might never play basketball again, like at a high level like this. You can play in your rec league or whatever, but you might as well just leave it all on the floor, right?
I do want to give a shout out to MJ Bruno, because she had 11 points, 3 for 5 from the 3-point line. She had some very key moments. And her defensive effort against Taylor Feldman,
unbelievable
against
yesterday.
NAU, it's just like she's the reason defensively why they were even here. And so I think that you need to give a shout out to her, because I'm really proud of her and how she played.
She absolutely deserved to get at least some recognition on the all-tournament team. I know that you're probably only going to get 2 from each school, and Matt Koenig and Avery Waddington justifiably landed on that all-tournament team for Lady Grizz, but I thought about voting for Bruno because of her defensive performance, certainly. We are about, 3.5 hours away from the men's championship game. We'll somehow figure out a way to stay up, and then we'll get back to Missoula. But on the horizon, Montana versus Northern Colorado, trying to go back to the NCAA tournament for the 13th time for the Grizzlies. Northern Colorado looking for their 2nd NCAA tournament berth. Number 1 versus number 2 on the men's side should be a heck of a game. And we already have 1 Big Sky tournament championship in the books with Montana State beating the Lady Grizz.
So I just need to give one last shout out to all the sponsors that supported the show this year. Vertical Rays, Pete Hamill, who actually called me while I was getting ready to go on the air, and I must have forgot I was coming to the tournament. You know how Pete is. And
he's always giving me restaurant recs. I'm like, dude, I don't leave the arena. We just eat here.
He sent me a message and said, I'm sorry, I was just calling to complain about the parking situation at Hellgate. It just made me laugh. So Advanced Imaging, Laird and Cowley, Ingalls Invokers, Dawn Maddox, just one of those female leaders that I just admire a lot. And she's just been a tremendous gift in my life that I've developed a friendship with her. And Giddy Up Go, Creative Studios, who did all my ads this year. Shauna Layton, huge shout out. So just want to thank all these people, and it's been really fun, Colter. And also, I want to thank you, because you make this show go, and you give me the opportunity to come on and have content that I love to deliver. But you're the one who allowed this to happen, and so thank you.